Be naked and unashamed, especially behind closed doors. I was thinking about reading the Bible. Wrote a song about it. Not here, here it goes. Not a Christian, never read the Bible, but I am very interested in what's in this book, so let's read it together. So the last episode, we read chapter 1. Now we're going on to chapter 2. So that the seventh day, God rests. Thus the heavens of the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work that he had done. So God blessed the seventh day and made it holy because on it God rested from all the work that he had done in creation. Geez Louise, they like to drive that point home. Marketing, marketing, marketing. The creation of man and woman. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created. In the day of the Lord, God made the earth and the heavens. When no bush of the field was yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man to work the ground. And okay, wait. All right. I think what's going on here, I think chapter 1, the broad strokes, created man, first, second, third day, etc. I think what we're getting here is we're going back and we're filling in the gaps. So basically, he created all the plants, but here he's saying, well, it has to rain for them to grow. He hadn't created man yet. So we're getting into, so chapter 2 is the details of chapter 1, which was the broad strokes. That's how I'm reading this. When no bush of the field was yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man to work the ground, and a mist was going up from the land and was watering the whole face of the ground. Then the Lord God formed the man of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man for whom he had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made to spring up every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life and tree of knowledge. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first is the Pishon. Sounds French, Pishon. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. The name of the second river is the Gihon, or Gihon. Gihon? Again, sounds French. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Cush, and the name of the river is the Tigris, which flows east of Assyria, and the 4th river is the Euphrates. Tigris and the Euphrates, I know those rivers. They're the famous ones. The Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree in the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat it, you shall surely die. I don't get it. I don't know why God didn't want him to know. Maybe we'll learn. Then the Lord God said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make a helper fit for him. Now out of the ground the Lord God had formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was its name. The man gave the names to all the livestock and to all the birds of the heavens and to every beast of the field, but for Adam there was not found a helper fit for him. All right, so I guess God made man. He was lonely. He makes all these animals. Animals, hey, do you like this animal? Yeah, he's okay. Do you like this animal? Yeah, horse is okay. I can ride him. But it wasn't fit for. It wasn't good. It wasn't good enough for Adam, I guess. I guess that's what I'm reading. So the Lord caused, but for Adam there was not found a helper fit for him. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, he took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and brought her to the man. And the man said, "This at last is bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Okay. So I had heard that the reason woman is called woman is it because it was a man with a womb man. That makes sense to me. I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but he's basically saying, I'm going to call her woman because she was taken out of a man. Nothing to do with a womb here. I don't know. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed. And that's the end of that chapter. And I'll tell you what here, this last paragraph basically is the basis for all marriage in the Western world. Leave his mother and father, become fast to his wife. They shall become one flesh. And I guess they can become one flesh because woman was made out of the flesh of man in the previous chapter. And the man and his wife will both be naked and unashamed, especially behind closed doors. So, I mean, obviously, this one very short chapter, 2 sentences, is essentially the basis for marriage. Very interesting. The next chapter is chapter 3, the fall, and we shall see how that goes. I think something interesting might happen. See you next time. If you're like me and have always wondered why this good book here has become so important to human civilization, then subscribe to this channel and join me in exploring chapter by chapter what's exactly in this thing. New chapters every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You know it's a must. Gotta have a friend in Jesus.